This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados City Afternoon Update for Wednesday, May 20th. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. Our focus at this hour is at the Psychiatric Hospital, where there are reports that staff and patients are seriously concerned about the state of the island's only mental health care institution. At this hour, the Acting Minister of Health, Michael Lashley, is touring the Black Rock facility. Further details in our next newscast. Meantime, custom officers are on a go-slow. The action, which was threatened since last week, has reportedly resulted in long lines at the cargo department. The officers are raising concern over the planned transition of the Customs and Excise Department into the Barbados Revenue Authority by July 1. Up to last week, they said they were still lacking key information and still didn't know if they will have their jobs. The autopsy on the body of Shamar Weekes was expected to resume today at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after it was postponed yesterday. The procedure on the 12-year-old's body of Friarswell St. Lucie was stopped yesterday in order for authorities to access a forensic pathologist to carry out further detailed analysis of the corpse. Barbados City understands that a clinical pathologist conducted yesterday's examination, but an additional evaluation was required. In a release last night, Assistant Commissioner of Police responsible for crime management and investigations, Mark Thompson, said having considered all the issues in Shamar's case and the dire consequence of misinformation, it is reasoned judgment of the authorities that a more scientific approach, which is not available in Barbados, should be employed, and as such had to delay in the conduct of the post-mortem. Police and fire officials are investigating a fire that destroyed the home of Marcia Blades of Apple Drive in St. Philip. The flames engulfed the three-bedroom wall and wooden structure just after 1:15 this morning. Fire officials with 2 tenders responded to the blaze, which also damaged several windows of a neighbor's house. In other news, as Finance Minister Chris Sinclair gets ready to present this country's national budget in less than a month's time, a government minister is making it clear where he stands on the whole issue of increased taxes.
Interested in any discussion about additional taxes or whatever. My constituents who are predominantly middle income continue to be under immense pressure, and they blame it on government and taxes. I think what we have to do as a state is to continue to enlighten people as to what it's costing to provide the services that the state is offering, so that there's a better understanding on that end. There's also the need for us to continue to work on containing or reducing the costs of government. And there is a need for us to continue to work on widening the tax net so that my middle class constituents in particular have their burden shared with a larger group in this society. People keep talking about the poor man. So when you're middle income and you're paying what you consider to be quite a bit of money when the month comes in taxes, and you see it going towards providing subsidized housing, free this and free that for other groups in society, you can't help but feel a little agitated and concerned.
That was Commerce and Industry Minister Donville Innes.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Secure your future, be financially
Regional news now: outrage in Guyana over the pardoning of a convicted child killer by former President Donald Romata late into his tenure. We get more in this report from Capital News.
The Guyana Coalition for Children, made up of several organizations, today said it is saddened and appalled to learn of former President Donald Romata's pardoning of Ravindra Deo. Deo was convicted of the murder of 8-year-old Vishnu Bim, the only child of his parents from Annandale on the East Coast. He was pardoned sometime last week by Mr. Romata as votes were being counted. The man was serving life imprisonment for his actions. He had kidnapped the young child and demanded a ransom before carrying out the murder. After he was nabbed in Georgetown, at the time aged 19, he led police to the child's battered body in the back dams of the East Coast village of LBI. The organizations which have spoken out against the pardon are Child Link Incorporated, Blossom Incorporated, Forward Guyana, Youth Challenge, the Tina Insanali Foundation, and Volunteer Youth Corps. The organization said that today Deo is free and lives as he wishes, while the parents of the child will never see his potential realized. The organization said that too many adults in society have contributed to the abuse of children and stood silently while children are abused and violated, most often by someone they know and love. The Guyana Coalition for Children reiterated that all forms of child abuse can be prevented and the abuse of children must not be tolerated, and abusers of children must receive the full penalties the law attaches to this heinous crime.
And finally, a boat of migrants found adrift last week off the coast of Thailand was rescued by an Indonesian fisherman today. More in this BBC report.
This was the boat that the BBC filmed a few days ago off the coast of Thailand. It was packed with hundreds of desperate migrants, and now we've found it again hundreds of miles away off the coast of Indonesia. It's hard to imagine the horror of what those on board this ship endured. There was hundreds of migrants packed on here, and you can see they've left some of their items, plastic bags. There's noodles here, somebody's left their jacket. Most of them were living below the deck, so let's take a look down there to see what conditions were like. Well, it's hard enough going down these rickety ladder stairs when the boat's stable. Imagine it rocking about in a rough sea. The first thing that strikes you when you come down here is the overwhelming stench, the stench of urine. It's swelteringly hot. And just imagine, hundreds of migrants were packed down in here, women and children, men crammed into this tight space.
And on that note, we come to the end of our afternoon updates, but we'll be back again this evening. Until then, remember, you can log on to www.barbadoscity.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on iZoom Media, that's in a bus terminal, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We're also on Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Have a safe and wonderful day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.